Are you jealous?
Well, then this video's for you.
What's up, guys? I'm David.
And I'm Desmond. Welcome back to D
And D Devotionals. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about jealousy and being envious. And the Bible has a lot to say about that. This is a great tool if you're ever having any questions about life. Just look to the Bible. I promise you it will most likely have an answer to just about anything you're looking for. And it may not be the answer you're hoping for, but it will have an answer for you. But before we get into what this has to say, we're going to talk a little bit about how we're affected by jealousy in our everyday lives, just like y'all.
Exactly. I've had some experiences with jealousy in my own life, one of which being as an athlete, I envy other people who are better than me at what I like to do. I play basketball, so I would look up to greats like Jordan and Curry and people like that and be like, I wish that I had that. I wish that I had that skill, or I wish that I had that talent or the resources, things like that. There's just a lot of things that I wish that I had.
Similarly to what Desmond has to say, whenever I was younger, I have an older brother, and so him and his friends all played sports. And whenever I was younger, I was really nerdy. All I liked to do was play some video games. I did karate, but that's about all I did, to be honest. And so whenever I would look up to them, I was jealous of how good they were at sports whenever I was younger. And so I wanted to be just like them. But now looking back, I'm disappointed in myself for being like that, because you just want to be the best you that you can be. So I think that that's something that we should really remember. Don't be jealous, be you.
Yeah. All right, so today we're going to get a little bit into this scripture here. We're going to talk a little bit about the story of Joseph. So Joseph was the son of Jacob. He had 11 brothers and sisters, and he was a shepherd, a young shepherd, didn't do much, tended to sheep. That was his life. So Joseph is different because he has this power. He can see the future through dreams. He has these prophetic dreams, and most of the time his siblings hate him for it. See, Joseph was the favorite son, and you can see that in Genesis 37:3. Where it says, Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him, and could not speak a kind word to him. That kind of thing happened a lot. He had a prophetic dream, and they didn't like him for it. They were mad at him. They were jealous of what they didn't have.
And just to clarify, Israel, not the country. Israel's the name of the father.
Yes, not the country, of course. So Joseph has these two significant particular dreams, and they're significant because they prophesize that he's going to be the king. He's going to be leading over his brothers and sisters in his family. They're going to be bowing down to him. And now this, as you might think, makes them a whole lot more angry than they already were. So they start to cook up this little plan. One day, Joseph's father sends him out to go with his brothers. His brothers are out in the field tending sheep. So he goes there and he doesn't find them. And so he asks a man who happened to be there, he said, do you know where my brothers went? I'm looking for my brothers. And he was like, oh, they moved on to this place. So he went somewhere else. He went out to look for them. But meanwhile, his brothers were plotting to kill him. They wanted to toss him into a hole, kill him, and say that some animal got to him.
Rip.
And one of the brothers decided not to do that. He said, let's not shed any blood. Let's just toss him into a hole. So Joseph gets there. They throw him into an empty well. And then they leave him there. They get to talking more. And then they decide, you know what? We're going to sell him into slavery. Much like myself, they wanted to throw me into slavery. But we not about that around here. Slavery, not cool. So Joseph's in a well, and there's this Egyptian caravan coming to take him off to be a slave. His brothers take his coat and they dip it in blood. They dip it in the blood of a lamb. And they take it back to their father and they say, look, an animal got to him. Something killed him. It wasn't us. He's gone.
Oh, big brains.
His father puts on sackcloth and mourns for days. Just the idea of someone doing something like that, just for their own reasons. They were selfish. They were like, we don't have that power. Our dad loves him more, so let's just get rid of him. And that kind of thinking is very flawed. So jealousy leads to a lot of other emotions, one of which being anger, which we talked about in our last video. But
go check it out.
Go check it out. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff.
Yes.
All right, cool. Back to the topic at hand. Jealousy consists of a lot of other emotions. and it is a root of many, many sins. Jealousy branches off and becomes other things if you let it fester.
That actually relates directly to the Bible, because right here in Proverbs 14, verse 30, it says, "A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." So basically what it's saying here is that whenever you're at peace with yourself and you are satisfied with who you are, you bring life to yourself. But whenever you're jealous, whenever you're envious of what others have, you're just rotting away while you're still walking. You're like a living zombie. They do be sinning though.
They do be sinning. One place we see a lot of envy and jealousy is in our relationships. And the Bible talks about that a little bit in 1 Corinthians 13:4, where it says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud." Now that's something to keep in mind, like I said, in your relationships and the contact you have with other people. You know, you're called to love all people, and love does not envy. So it's not very loving of you to be jealous and to be envious. It's more important for you to trust people around you and just be happy with what you have.
Another thing to remember about jealousy is a lot of people say, "Oh, well, in the Bible it says, you ask and you shall receive." But that's not the entirety of like the truth of what it's talking about. So in James verse 4, 2-3, it says, "You desire but do not have, so you kill. You covet but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. When you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures." So basically what it's saying here is, yes, if you ask, you will receive if you have the right motives and right intentions behind it. But if you are jealous of somebody and you're praying to God, you're like, "God, please give me the talent to make the NBA so that I can go and buy some nice clothing, get some Gucci and Supreme." That is
car.
Yeah. That is not what it's about, okay? The wrong motives, that's what you're not going to get. So don't be jealous. Have good intentions behind your heart whenever you're praying.
Exactly. And like what we said when I was talking about how jealousy is a normal reaction. Jealousy, there's a lot of situations in which jealousy and things like anger and other emotions are warranted, and it's okay to feel those things. It's a normal thing, and it's not like you should just try and suppress and crush them and just get rid of them. Become this little shaken up like Coke bottle that's going to explode when someone says something to you. That's not what you want here. What you want, like we said in anger video, is try and find the root of your jealousy within your own life and see what that is. Assess the problems, lick your wounds.
Yeah, and so to back that up kind of, it's not like we all build up and get this jealousy inside of us or this anger inside of us. But one thing that you should do to kind of avoid that is to look back and see all the blessings that you've had in your past and see how in the future you're going to have even more of those blessings, especially if you turn all your troubles to God and let Him handle it rather than trying to deal with it all on your own. Because God's intentions are always pure. We oftentimes have impure intentions, and that's not what God is calling us to do. And so if you look up to Him and ask Him for help, trust me, He will always be there for you. Maybe not the way you were thinking in your head, but He will always be there with you.
One, I think, good distinction to make is that between jealousy and envy and hope. Now, I think being hopeful is very important. It's important to want something, to have dreams and goals and ideas, but when that turns into a coveting for what other people have is when it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that we should always strive to be the best that we can possibly be, but never at the expense of our happiness or our joy or our pursuit of the Lord.
Exactly. You never want your push for worldly things to cost you in your spiritual life.
Amen. So that basically sums up what this video is all about. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, drop a like, subscribe, turn on that bell. We're going to have much more content coming to you soon. Hopefully some vlogs, some inspirational vlogs for people to watch to keep you entertained. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming to check out the video.
And leave a comment on what y'all want to see in the future, because we really need y'all's help to know what y'all want to see from us and what y'all want us to do with this channel in the future.
Yeah, we can keep doing whatever we want, but it might be a little better if you guys give us some direction. So
yeah.
Toss your ideas in the comments down below. Leave a like, share with your friends, all that.
Peace.